Yo, what's happening guys, and welcome back to another PUBG video. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my updated settings for 2019 for PUBG in the PS4 and Xbox. Before we do get into the video, with settings, I feel like finding your own settings are the most beneficial thing you can do. However, there is some things that I believe everybody should do, and we will cover that in this video. If you guys do find this video useful, be sure to drop a like, I would appreciate it, and get subscribed with your notifications turned on. If you guys want to see PUBG videos, gameplay, all information about updates and all that kind of stuff, I will be covering it all right here. So go on ahead and get subscribed and get those notifications turned on. But without any further ado, the first thing I want to talk about is controller button preset. I've got mine set to Type B. The reason I do that is because Type B lets you hold L2 to ADS and hold L1 to do the more accurate hipfire. Having to tap L2 to ADS is really cumbersome, so I definitely recommend that you guys get over to Type B. If you haven't tried it out yet, I think that will be a huge benefit to you, and it'll be a lot more natural feeling, more like Call of Duty. Next thing here is invert. You probably don't want to do that. And moving on to right stick and left stick dead zone. The reason I've got these down to 5 is because if you've got too high of a dead zone, you don't really have full control over your joysticks. I put it on 5 because if you put it on 0, you get a really bad drift in the stick. So your crosshair is going everywhere, it feels really awkward. So I recommend somewhere in between 5 and 10. Definitely anywhere a little bit higher might feel a little bit awkward. I've got vibration turned off here because, you know, it messes with your aim. So with forward running sensitivity and movement sensitivity, I've got these both up to 100%, or I've got them up to 50 and 100 respectively. The reason being is because you don't have to tap your stick as much to run faster, to get a sprint, and it just feels less awkward. So I definitely recommend that everybody puts up movement sensitivity and forward running sensitivity to 150. Now the vertical sensitivity multiplier, this is one that I definitely recommend that everybody changes. I've got mine in 60%, so whatever my sensitivity is for general sensitivity, my vertical sensitivity will be 60% of that. That applies to all of the settings. Generally, to keep your aim steady, you don't want to be moving your stick up and down too much. Being able to make those precise vertical movements definitely is recommended, so I would put that to between 60 and 70 if you guys want to try out something different, and hopefully you guys should notice a benefit for that. General sensitivity, I've got that on 10. That one comes down to complete personal preference. I feel like 10 is a nice round number, and it does work pretty well for general sensitivity. Moving on to driver sensitivity, again personal preference, I've got that on 10. Aim acceleration, I 100% recommend taking this off. The reason is, aim acceleration basically makes your stick progressively go faster the longer you hold it. So for example, if you put your stick the whole way over to the right, it'll take maybe a second, depending on what your acceleration rate is, to reach full sensitivity. If you guys are trying to build up some muscle memory and trying to basically get used to one setting, aim acceleration completely messes it up. I prefer to turn it off because it means that your sensitivity is always the same, so that you can kind of practice and learn what each movement does. And it never changes, it's always one sensitivity. So 100% get aim acceleration turned off. That's probably my biggest tip here. With over the shoulder aiming sensitivity, I've got that on an 11. Anywhere around 10 or 11, or somewhere similar to your general sensitivity should be fine. Once again, this all comes down to personal preference, but my ADS sensitivity here is 10 for 1x scope, same as general, 12 for 2x scope, because it's a little bit more magnified. I've got it on 11 for the 3x scope. You would only really use the 3x scope at further range, so that's why I've got it a little bit lower than the 2x scope sensitivity. I've got 4x on 10, 6x on 8, and 8x on 8 as well, and the 15 scope on 20. 15 scope is bugged out, so you want to put that up to 20, and honestly you probably just don't pick it up in general, it's not that good. With the 8x and 6x, having them a little bit lower makes it easier for you to, hit precision shots at range, which is really what those scopes are for, so there's no need to put them up any higher. 4x, I've got that on 10, a nice kind of middle ground. And like I said, the 3x scope, I think it's bugged out as well, which is why I've got it on 11. It might seem like a strange number, but if you guys want to, give those settings a try, and let me know how it feels for you guys. So moving on to gameplay settings here. Obviously, language English. Kill feed, doesn't really make much of a difference. Colorblind mode, I've got it on normal. If you switch it over to Tritonopia, you will get purple blood. So that's how to change the color of blood in this game. I've got the crosshair color on basically a red color. I've got red up full, everything else on 0, and alpha up full. On-screen hints off. If you guys are brand new to the game, you might want to keep that on for a while. With the third person perspective aim camera position, always reset to right shoulder. So whenever you hold L1 on type B, it'll always go to the right side. You can set it to reset to the shoulder that you used last, which I don't really recommend, but if you guys are using L1 a lot to aim, you know, maybe if you're peeking fast and then peeking back again, maybe having it resetting to the same shoulder that you used last time might help. Generally, I try to use ADS while peeking around corners, so that's why I always have it reset to right. Auto reloading on. This is another pretty big one. So if you guys weren't aware of this setting yet, it came with the Kennedy update. If you press R2, whenever you've got no ammo in your gun, it'll reload without having to hold it. So normally you hold square or X on Xbox, reload. Pressing R2 once with 0 bullets in your gun will fully reload it. So definitely try to get used to doing that. If you land at hotspots and you're trying to fight for the first kill, if you land beside somebody, pressing R2 instead of holding square will definitely make the difference. So 100% try to get used to that. Compass background, I've got that turned off. With functionalities, they've added default firing rate. I've got it all in single. If you want to pick up an AR and have it automatically go to fully auto, you actually can change that now. It's a recent update that came into the game. I haven't actually changed it yet, but I think that I will change that in the near future, so definitely keep in mind if you go to gameplay the whole way to the bottom, you can actually change your firing mode now. And finally, just going into the graphics settings here, field of view, I've got it up maximum. Having a higher field of view will let you see more. If you're running on an Xbox or just a normal PlayStation, you know, the higher your field of view, the less FPS you'll get. So maybe you'll want to put that down if it feels a little bit laggy, but generally it is a good idea to have that up full, so you've got the maximum view and you can see as much as possible. That definitely helps me spot enemies at distance, having my field of view up. And it means if you're in close quarter fights, the higher your field of view, the more you can see close quarters, so definitely recommend having that up. And finally, brightness 85, that's personal preference. That might seem really high to a lot of you guys, but keep in mind I've got an Elgato, which I use color settings on, so that is different for me than it would be for you. So those are my updated settings. One last thing, if you guys are PS4 Pro users, if you guys turn on super sampling, you'll be able to get sharper graphics on the PS4 Pro. Like textures will render in a bit sharper, and generally overall it will look a little bit better. So that is my final tip with settings. But anyway guys, let me know if those settings help you, and let me know how they differ to yours. If any of you guys decide to copy this setting for setting, let me know if it helps you or if it's a little bit worse. Once again, it does come down to mostly personal preference, but I do believe, you know, there's a couple of things in there that some of you guys might be doing completely wrong, which might overall help your game. Keep in mind with settings, you don't want to change it too often. I haven't changed my settings in about 6 months because I'm used to it. I don't want to mess about with it, and you know, sometimes you have bad games, but don't automatically think, you know, I gotta change my settings. That will mess up your aim a little bit more, so I definitely recommend just taking it easy with them. Change them incrementally, like only a little bit at a time. But if you guys do a complete overhaul with my settings, let me know in the comments down below if it does help. That's it for the video guys, hope you enjoyed. Like it if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. Once again, we'll be covering lots more PUBG content here on the channel, so get subscribed, get your notifications turned on, ring that bell. But until next time, this has been King Plays. Thank you very much for watching, good luck and peace out.